Chapter 1. The Principles of Persuasion. Most people would wish to influence others. Influence is the least cost and yet effective ways to make masses of people obey your wishes where they wishes are meant to mutually benefit all. Influence can be inborn or learned. As a skill or both. Think of wooing voters without having to spend significant sums of money to sway them. Imagine a situation where you sway the management to buy into your ideas and drop their hardline stance. While all these appear reserved for certain people, it is possible to accomplish influence by exploring and integrating the Robert Cialdini principles of influence. Reciprocity. The fundamental principle of influence is to simply grant that which you want to receive. In other terms, doing right by others is a great way to make them return that favor. The principle of reciprocity is a potent one. Reciprocity can be expressed in multiple ways, such as giving others small gifts, doing favors for those in need, and treating others with respect, and are all things that can earn you points with other individuals. For this reason, a recommended approach is to always help others and remain kind when they have an opportunity, as there is likelihood that you will need their help in the future. It is these small acts of kindness that will be remembered and become useful when one needs a favor. Consistency. Regarding the principle of consistency, it is anchored on the power of active and voluntary commitments that leads to people abiding by their word. For this reason, let us explore these requirements in a detailed manner. The first aspect is an active commitment, and by active it implies that something that is written or spoken to other people. The start of persuasion is making people say that they will do a particular thing. When an individual commits to something, then they are much more likely to follow through. The next step is to make the declaration public. If other people witness the commitment, then the level of accountability is likely to be enhanced, and in most cases, no one wants to retract. Lastly, the commitment has to be voluntary, because if you force someone to make an active and public commitment that they did not decide on themselves, then you will have accomplished nothing. Social proof. We rely on social cues from others on how to think, feel and act in different situations. Peers lead in an exhibition of social proof among the general population. Social proof then refers to a person depending on social cues from others on how to think, act and feel in different situations. Against this backdrop, one is likely to use a particular intern in their department to influence other interns by first orienting the selected intern to ideal attributes. When other interns see another employee like themselves, they are likely to mimic or adapt to that behavior. It is thus important to get one of the target people to exhibit the desired action or attributes to influence the others. Liking. Most people prefer those individuals that like them or who view them as friends. Although simple, this is a powerful concept. We can use the principle of liking in several ways. First, one can find common ground with the individuals he or she meets. If one can connect with such people on their interests or hobbies, then one will have promising ground to start from. One should be observant of people to notice any clues that may make one discover shared understanding. The second means of inviting the liking of another person is to make genuine praise. Praise that is exaggerated is considered a flatter and somehow dishonest. However, paying compliments and being charming can help one build a positive rapport with other people. One mustn't overdo paying compliments. For emphasis, the praise accorded to the target individual should be genuine. Authority. If people perceive you as an authority in an area, then they are likely to defer to you. Most people consider experts as capable of giving shorter but effective approaches to complex issues that would see other people take longer to accomplish. Against this backdrop, one should seek to establish the credibility of authority and expertise before seeking to influence the target masses. Most people miss this window of opportunity since they assume that others will notice their expertise automatically. For this reason, you should explicitly make the target audience aware of your expertise. Authority can be established in several ways. For instance, make all your academic credentials and awards visible to your target audience. Authority can be established by making short anecdotes as well as background information shared in casual conversations. For emphasis, your expertise is not always a known quantity, and one should convey it when the chance presents. Scarcity. Expectedly, people value what is rare or scarce. Nothing strange as this perfectly satisfies the law of supply and demand, because as things become scarce, they become more valuable to others. The principle of scarcity can be applied to convince others. One approach is to make offers limited time, limit supply, or one time, which creates a perception of scarcity. How one presents such opportunities counts in that if one focuses more on loss language, then the message becomes more potent. Then there is the exclusivity approach, which concerns granting access to services, information, or other items to a limited set of people, elucidating a sense of exclusiveness. The goal is to get the target audience to translate all these as a favor extended to them, or that you are valuing them more than others. If one combines all of the above approaches, then his or her powers of influence will significantly increase. Illustrations. When one goes beyond the expectations when dealing with another person, then the person is offering more than needed. Human beings are rational and will promptly notice that they have been given more care or service than should be the norm. By offering more than expected, you are taking the lead of the current and future interactions with the target person. Most human beings have learned to offer back in equal measure when they get extra care and concern from others. The overall aim of the principle of reciprocity is that it makes the other person feel that they owe you for what you did to them, even when not asking for it. By being generous with empathy, concern, and physical gifts, you are chaining the target person to concede more in future interactions. Through reciprocity, you build trust and propagate the relationship. Regarding the principle of scarcity, people are drawn to that which is difficult to find, as it is considered rare, exclusive, and unique. Scarcity motivates an individual to make the best use of the limited opportunity. Have you ever wondered why most politicians will maintain their presence minimum even when they have no justification to appear briefly? The reason for this is that scarcity makes the target entertain the perception that the individual is highly valued and his or her appearance should be appreciated. All these developments increase the eagerness to listen and believe the politician. On a personal level, if your partner or spouse suddenly withdraws, chances are that you are likely to want to feel their presence more. The art of limiting your availability helps enhance your value as a person as well as your opinions, and a good influencer creates the perception that he or she is highly sought after. For the principle of authority, people tend to coalesce around figures of authority, and this is the primary motivation for using celebrities to endorse products. Companies spend significantly to get a celebrity or a recognizable sporting personality to endorse their product because the target masses view the celebrity as an authority in that domain. In formal contexts, figures of authority may include accomplished engineers, doctors, and journalists, whose opinion is seen being the most applicable option. Fortunately, the principle of authority allows any person to create the perception of authority and get the target audience actively listening and implementing what he or she says. As indicated, one should start by making the audience aware of your credentials to enhance your credibility. One can also use memorization to make the audience feel that the individual is well furnished with a target area. Relatedly, ensuring that you are consistent is important as it helps carve out the image that you are aware of yourself and are principled. No one would want to follow an individual that switches sides during an argument or a crisis. People appreciate consistent people and are likely to believe them, even when earlier on they dismissed such people. There are chances that you voted for a political candidate that appeared to have a stand even there were sufficient factors to make you reconsider your views. Take a look at most adverts of a particular product. They try to maintain consistency concerning the utility that the product provides to the end consumer. For instance, try to review the adverts about Dettol soap and you will realize consistent is sustained. The other benefit of creating consistency is that it makes your target audience associate specific values with you even in contexts where you are not present. Then there is the principle of consensus, and a leader that allows for compromise can illustrate this. Chances are that you find a leader that is willing to strike a middle ground during conflicts as an understanding and humane leader. Compromise helps create the impression that one is understanding and can relate to how you are feeling. People tend to find persons that exhibit ideal human qualities such as empathy as honest,